This third of 4 draft narrative chronologies shares selected content from audio tapes I recorded for my family in Massachusetts about my work and life in the Northern Mariana Islands from September 1977 through May 1978. Unfortunately, only 10 usable audio tapes have survived, with 4 from September, 1 each from December, January, and March, and 3 from May. The accompanying draft transcript, available in the KPV Collection website, section KN4, identifies the date each tape was made, if known, and the audio tape number in the KPV collection. In the future, additional content will be selected from written and audio materials to provide a more complete narrative of these years.
Mom, we're gonna be going to Rhoda tomorrow, and Bridget knows they're gonna come and stay with me at the house.
Yeah, that's right. I need to finish evaluation report to go to Washington. So I'm going to
Can't
Rhoda.
you do it here?
No, Lydia Tysican and I need to work on it together. Because it's also evaluation.
Lydia come here?
Lydia could come here. Lydia came here last time. So she asked me to come to Rhoda this time. It's not fair to make Lydia come here every time. They're going to elect the new governor for the Marianas in December 10th, and the Commonwealth status is supposed to take effect January 1978, which is sooner than the 81 projected date, which means that instead of being a district, will be a state, which means, well, in terms of my job, that I changed to being a state director instead of a, sub-state director. It means I'll move from being a specialist 2 probably to being a specialist 3, which is supposed to be happening anyway. Anyway, things had been really, really busy at work for a long time, and there's still about 6 weeks more of work that I could do without anything new coming. But my new directors, Henry Sablon, who's taking my job as Chamorro project director, and Zeus Alamato, who's Carolinian project director, are ending up to be extremely good and working very hard, and it's quite a bit of work right on me now because I'm having to train them on how to do things. But as they get used to each of the jobs, then it's...
I thought Henry had worked in the office before, but not here.
That's right. That's right.
Then why are you training him?
Well, because he wasn't doing this kind of job before, so he doesn't know how to do it. So I'm having to teach them all the different parts, and I'm trying to write down some of the things I teach them and maybe write a manual. But anyway, it's going along very well. I feel very positive about the way the whole thing's going. We had a luncheon meeting interviewing a fellow for a job on Friday, and they handled themselves very well. We'd gone over, how you interview and hiring people and stuff. And we just are doing an inventory system of our materials, and things are just really starting to shape up. And I've hired someone to handle all the testing on the evaluation part, and that's helping. And I'm hoping to do more actual training and such. So I think it's going to go along really well, and I feel less, although there's still more work to be done than can be done, I feel good knowing that the people that we're training to do the work are going to be quite able and to do it, and that my staff's becoming more and more professional and more dependable in terms of doing their job and setting things up. And I think they're feeling good about it. So that's working out well. I wish I didn't have to go to Rhoda next week and do this report, but I do, so that'll be fine.
You have to do the report, Lydia?
Yes, I have to. It has to be in Washington by September 30th. That's the law. Part of my job.
The law?
Mm-hmm.
But if it isn't that.
Well, then we might not get more money. might take away our money.
I thought you're going.
No, I wouldn't go in jail.
Not that kind of money.
Let's see, there's a new political party forming of people that didn't get the governor's. There are two parties, and the two governor candidates have been selected, and so there's a third party forming involved. Well, what's happened as far as change of plans go is that my new proposal is due into Washington November 15th. It's always before been due in March or so. And I got notification yesterday that it was due in November. So that means that I'm not going to take home leave in October. I will go to the meeting in Washington. It's budgeted in the project, and I will go to that, and then we'll come on back. But since the proposal is the most important thing I do, probably each year, in terms of this whole thing, my job, it would be a very bad time for me to take home leave. This report I'm doing now has to be in the mail by Tuesday, then I'm going to Guam on Thursday, and we'll be figuring things out there. I may not know for about a week exactly what I'm doing. And then again, I may get it all planned out and it may change. Our neighbor, Mr. Add, is on the ticket running for Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Camacho, Dr. Camacho, who's running for governor. And there's going to be an election in December.
Is Mr. Adder going to win?
We don't know who's going to win. Who's going to win.
Whoever's win going to get the flag.
That's right. So Mr. Add is running for Lieutenant Governor, which means he'd be a helper. Means he'd be the second most important person running the election.
Who's running for the first?
Dr. Camacho and Joe Ten.
Also one of them is
But there's a third party. And we were at Villa Gomez, at Ramon and Donna's house. They were talking about how there might be another party started. It's a very interesting time. We're already starting to have campaign stuff and all that. I went to Rhoda on Monday to work with Lydia Tysican on a report, and Birch and Ruth came here to stay with Lisa, and then that was what she wanted, and we've done that before, and that works out really well. And anyway, we had a tropical storm. I don't know, it was kind of strange because it never got classified as a tropical storm until after it had poured rain and had gusty winds to 70 miles an hour for 3 days. Kept saying it wasn't a storm, but I guess it didn't pattern like a typhoon or whatever, but it was just as bad as a lot of the warnings that we've had. Took down banana trees and such, and Lisa had no school. She got out Tuesday noon and had no school Tuesday afternoon. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the schools were closed on Guam and Saipan and Rhoda, and there was a lot of flooding, Tinian too. There was a lot of flooding. The Guam paper shows a lot of it, and a lot here. And there was no danger at all, but I really didn't like being on Rhoda during that time. I wasn't sure whether I would be able to fly out Thursday and get home when I expected to. Air Mike wasn't flying. They had mechanical problems and the weather, but the Island Air, which is a small airline that flies. Right, I was the only passenger. And it was kind of a lull time in the storm. So sat up with the pilot and had a nice chat. I guess, I don't know what kind of plane it is. It takes about
6 people?
No, about 11 people, I think, or 12. It's a nice little plane. But there was no problems, and I made it back okay. The power was out.
On the plane?
No. When I got back, for periods of time, the power was out, the water's out. But since we're right up here next to the radio station, they try to have the power on as much as possible. In fact, there's an emergency generator for the radio station. right here next to the house, so that that works out okay. It was nice being back on Rhoda.
And it makes too much noise.
Yeah, I didn't do much visiting and stuff because it was too
But you got
too
a lot
rainy.
of
I
shells.
stayed with Lydia and slept with her 2 girls, and went for some nice walks. Picked up some more shells. Lydia and I got our report pretty much done. This Commonwealth thing is going to go through a lot faster. You know, they projected it for 81, and it seems like it's going to take effect in January of this year. And that means that that we'll all be doing state level jobs, that we're doing directing projects that were part of the state job, which means all sorts of additional things to be done and things to be learned to be done, and everybody's learning new things, and it's kind of confusing, but is working out. Let's see that. Birch has gone to truck. So Ruth came over. Well, I think they've met Birch, but they probably don't remember.
They don't make,
When we were at school in St. Michael's.
they don't probably.
Yeah. No, they've never met Ruth. Anyway, Birch is in truck, right? He left Saturday for truck. So Birch is coordinator for Title I for the Trust Territory, and there's some people here monitoring his programs, so he's taking them around to the districts. And of course, they were here on Saipan, and we had the storm, and there was no school, so they couldn't observe any schools, and so Birch had to do a lot more entertaining and taking care of them than he planned. Lisa's teacher's back from vacation. She was in the States, and she had to get back to school a week late. And so Lisa's been getting things set for school. I've been having to send, well, one day I was supposed to send a shoebox, but of course I didn't have a shoebox. Nobody here has a shoebox.
Almost everybody else had a shoebox.
Well, I didn't have any shoeboxes.
Miss handed me.
Okay. But Miss Sonata said it was okay. I talked about it. She's supposed to have a junior dictionary next Wednesday, but I haven't been able to locate a junior dictionary.
Yeah, they don't have them.
Yeah, they don't have anything. So I was going to ask a friend. It was supposed to be last Wednesday. I was going to ask a friend in Guam to see if they could.
But there's no school last week.
But there was no school. Okay, well, why don't you tell them some more about what you did with Birch and Ruth while I was gone?
Not very much. All I did was went to the office with them.
What did you think of the computer?
I don't know. It looks like a typewriter.
It looks like a typewriter.
A built-in typewriter. Oh, good. And I had a sorting machine. I wrote down how many cards there were when she counted them in the sorting.
Ah, so you helped her, huh? Lisa came to the office with me on Friday, and she helped me. We're putting together some books, and she...
I did 5 of them.
And what jobs did you do?
I cut them.
Did you put rubber bands around them? Did you sort them?
Oh yeah, I put rubber bands around them. Then we sorted them. That was
And did you punch holes in them for binding? Or take them off the laminating machine? Trim them? You worked with Xerox machine, with Xerox.
I got it before.
And there was another little girl there, and they worked together. And Lisa now knows a bunch of jobs that didn't know before, right? It's Sunday morning, and it's about 7 o'clock. We get up early, as you know, and I'm doing some laundry, and then I'm going to work on a report. I have a report that has to be in the mail to Washington by Tuesday, and so I want to get that all rough draft out. Well, it is all rough draft. That's what I did on Rhoda. I want to get it ready for the final typing. I have a dentist appointment tomorrow morning, so I want to take it to my secretary and administrative assistant and have them working on it. The proposal for Title VII has always been due in March, and yesterday we got notification that it's due November 17th, having to be mailed November 10th to Washington. So that is going to mean that's the most major thing I do each year, is submit the new proposal. So that's going to mean that I will not plan on taking home leave in October. What I will do is go to the meeting in Washington as budgeted on my project. The dates for the conference are pretty definite. It starts the 20th and goes to the 23rd. I'm going to plan on arriving in Washington the 19th. I plan to stay in the Sheridan Hotel, I think. I don't know, I have to check my reservations. I'm going to stay with Bernie Dunca, who's the director from the University of Guam program. We'll share a room, and then we'll be right there where the conference is. I found it much preferable with conferences to stay right where they are and have time to be with different people. I'll see how that works out, how much I get done on the proposal before I am ready to go. If I get this evaluation report in, then I should be able to start on the proposal and should be able to do quite a bit of lobbying in Washington. To Rhoda. Yeah, I went to Rhoda 2 weeks ago, and while I was there was a storm, and it never got classified as a typhoon. It wasn't that type of storm. It's now gone on and doing quite a bit of damage in Japan, I think, but it took down small banana trees and stuff, and lots of rain. And I tried to get back from Rhoda early, but I couldn't because the planes weren't flying. But the schools were all closed, so Lisa went to work with Birch and Ruth up at headquarters education. And then she came to work with me on Friday. The electricity was on and off and everything, but it makes variety, and everything was fine. And we're going to have 2 Christmas parties. We're going to have one for children on Saturday and one for adults on Thursday night, right? Because Friday's mostly all parties. At work, we've all picked numbers.
For presents.
And everybody will be bringing in lots of food, and I don't think we'll be doing any work on Friday at all.
Neither me.
Yeah.
Because I'm having a Christmas party at school. That's what we have. Everybody in school has to pay $1. So for the lunch, we're gonna. So it seems like almost anybody could be absent on Friday because we won't be doing any schoolwork, so you won't have any to catch up on.
But you miss your party.
Well, it's just a party.
I think Lisa's trying to get to come to my party. Huh?
All they're doing is having food and playing games. They have this game that, it's a game day. Get to wear any kind of clothes you want.
We went to Guam last week. I had some things to straighten out with the university, and we had physical exams, and we're both healthy and fine. I was going to have a consultant here at Christmas time, and due to problems with the University of Guam, that didn't work out. So what was going to be busy is extra super busy is now just going to be normally busy. I have a interim report due in Washington on the 30th of December, and we've been working on that. The election is over.
Who won?
Camacho won, and Ada.
Ada came in second?
He became the lieutenant governor. So Joe Chen and Olympia Borja did not win. Things got pretty heavy, and the election was within 100 votes. In fact, they waited for the absentee ballots and such before they would make it official. It's very, very close. And there's been a lot of bad feelings and a lot of things that everyone here gets very involved in politics. Stayed pretty close to home during this whole period of time. And now we'll just wait and see what happens. On the 9th will be the start of the Commonwealth, and the governor taking over. And nobody really knows exactly what's going to happen. There will be a new director of education and a bunch of things that will be new. And I suppose a lot of it won't make any sense to write back about. But it is kind of a historic time and kind of interesting. Our friend Patsy was here.
I thought you said that's the consultant I was going to see for
No, that was Samuel that was coming. She's in charge of a curriculum development center for the Pacific area in Hawaii. And she's a really good friend. We stayed with her on our way out. And she's been working in the Pacific area for quite a while. She works in Samoa and for a while. And so she stayed with us, which was nice. We enjoyed having her here.
Very much.
Our trip back was without any problems, and the planes were all on time, and I always enjoy the trip through the districts. We were pretty busy in Hawaii, meeting with people and stuff, and that all went well. We were only in Hawaii a short time. And then had to work like crazy when I got back, nights and stuff, to catch up on the stuff that I had delayed doing, but got everything done. And then we had this typhoon warning right when my proposals needed to be mailed, which caused all sorts of problems, but made it through that one. And me and Lisa and I boarded up the house. And where did we go for the typhoon, Lisa?
Nowhere.
Yeah, we stayed here, I guess. We decided it wasn't going to get.
And
Don
it
came
didn't.
up and helped us board, right?
Didn't.
I had my final and last big report due December 30th, and I still did not have it done. I finally hopefully I'll go down to work today and get it finished up. We had, between Christmas and New Year's, we had a typhoon warning, Mary, that closed down work, and there were quite a few parties at work and around work, and there were a number of deaths, and a lot of people out, and it just seemed impossible to get much done. And I do have to get that done. We should have quite an interesting weekend. The inauguration for the first governor of the Northern Marianas is this weekend, and there are different people coming. So we had quite a time at the airport. The King of Nauru arrived, and somebody from Korea, and here there was, limousines and cars and security guards, and so there's all sorts of other official delegates arriving today and tomorrow for the ceremonies. Let's see. President Carter's delegation includes Jeff and Annette Carter, James Joseph, Undersecretary of the Department of Interior, Al Stern from the White House staff, and Ruth Van Cleve, Director of Territorial Affairs, Department of Interior. And
That's a son and daughter, right?
yeah, it's his son and daughter. So we've been invited to the inauguration ceremonies, the ball and the luncheon and all that, and very few people have been. It's become an issue. A committee was made to do the inauguration ceremonies, and it said to arrange the inauguration ceremonies for the governor and lieutenant governor. So none of the other officials that were elected to the legislature, who happen to be of the other party, have been invited. And we were invited because we're friends with the Addas and our neighbors, and Adda's lieutenant governor. But I don't know anybody who's been invited. So it should be quite interesting. Of course, it's very formal, and I understand that about 2 days ago they did send out invitations inviting the other elected officials. I do plan to go. There's 3 Navy ships coming in. I understand all the rental cars are gone for the island and all the hotels are full. I don't know. It's going to be an interesting few days. I don't have a schedule yet for the activities, although I got this engraved invitation and all this stuff. There was no schedule, so I will have to get that from the Addis today, probably when we're down to the post office. So I have Monday off. I've had the last 3 Mondays off. This Monday for the inauguration, and the other Mondays for Christmas and New Year's. We're talking about Marcy Camacho, my administrative assistant. She just had a baby girl. It's about a month old, and Lisa's helped take care of the baby, and she enjoys doing that. Marcy has 5 boys, so this baby's kind of special. And last Saturday we were going to take care of the baby. We went over to get her, but she had a little fever during the night, so we didn't take her.
Too bad.
Yeah, Lisa was disappointed. And she could have stayed at Marcy's and helped take care of her, but she didn't have to. So we didn't do that. We'll have the new governor will appoint new department heads for all the departments. And that should be interesting. There's a lot of rumors going around. I anticipate a time of a great deal of confusion. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens. The island's too small for some of the big-time things it's planning and talking about. But, we'll see. A new hotel just opened, Grand Hotel. I think I'm going to go out there for friends for dinner tonight.
You better show me the port.
Lisa's already seen it. There was a water show. And Lisa went with friends to the water show, and they went and looked at it. So I haven't been there yet. And we've got the Air Nauru building that's going to open soon. It has a revolving restaurant on the top, so Saipan's becoming very big time. I'm writing some letters. I got letters. You might be interested in this. I got a letter from Senator Kennedy and from some other congressmen and senators, a form letter wanting input into the bilingual legislation. So I hope to get that drafted up and done this weekend. And we'll probably later on draft a formal statement to go from the governor's office for our representative in Washington to present. In fact, I had a long talk with him. He was at the airport. He's going to come in and see me next week, and we'll discuss that. So that's been kind of interesting. Pangolin. He was at the airport. I was talking to him.
Remember you were sitting at that table with Jeanette and...
No, that was Lena Olapai. We were talking about Carolyn and
the other one was
culture.
the
Yeah, the one was standing up to it after we finished the phone call. What did...
Not very much. We'll see how people... This week we'll see that I was helping with the office.
Right, she's a very good Xeroxer and correlator, and she was helping make the Chamorro materials, and then the neighbors...
And binding.
And binding, right? The neighbor's girl came up to the house Thursday and Friday and watched her, and last week watched her and Lisa had friends over. And, so, I think we're going to go to the bank and put some money in Lisa's savings account. She wants to change her signature. Because, yeah, her signature when she first opened her account was in printing, and now it's in handwriting. We want to change it so that it's in handwriting. Have to do a lot of budget stuff during January to do with all my money things, to do with my project. Still haven't quite figured out what I should wear to the inauguration ball, but I will.
You got the dress.
Yeah.
Let's have Mrs. Carter. If she can, that's what she could.
Well,
She would wear puffed out dresses.
no, I don't think so. That's not the style anymore. To wear puffed out dresses. I had a pretty busy day at work as usual. I had to write a letter, meet with a committee and write a letter to go to Washington on how the Northern Marianas wants the Omnibus Act to be written, and then at some point we'll probably have a meeting with all the other territories like Samoa and Puerto Rico and Virgin Islands to discuss changing in funding. It's a little bit confusing. I just got notification that I got my state proposal, which is really pleasing to me. It's one of the very first state grants to be awarded to the Northern Marianas. And there was some question as to whether we'd be eligible, and there wasn't anyone to really help me with it since one hadn't been submitted before. And then I sent 2 people to Guam later that week to represent us at an advisory council meeting. I really haven't been feeling like traveling, so I've been sending people places, which is really kind of a nice feeling, or having them do things. I'm hoping to send Jesus and Henry to Puerto Rico for the bilingual conference. If everything works out with that, that's the end of April. I think it would be really good for them to make that trip and to do that. I've been quite involved with setting up the summer training also. Today I met with the 6 people we have applying to the University of Hawaii training, and tomorrow I meet with the 11 people that we're granting scholarships to go to the University of the Guam for the summer. My friend Masaki up at headquarters, he just got a linguistics fellowship to go to Chicago for the Linguistics Institute this summer. And I think, I could do something like that pretty easily if I wanted to. Although I don't think I really want to pursue the linguistics. But anyway, I'm checking into some of those things. I had my usual busy day today, but had lunch at one of the schools with the governor and the president of the Senate and the mayor of Saipan and the president of our advisory council at a cultural day that we had at one of the schools. While I was talking to the governor, I found out that some of the personnel actions I've been waiting for that are waiting for his signature aren't in his office. So then I spent the rest of the afternoon down at personnel trying to locate those actions, which all seem to be lost. And I'm going to go back tomorrow. They're expecting me, and hopefully those things will be found. I will just sort of stay there till they are. But had a busy morning with things to go to Washington. And we telephoned California and Hawaii and Guam. We're writing a teacher corps project. And we need an affiliating university, and there's a whole bunch of complications on that. There's a hot lunch program here now in the schools, but it is so awful. It's really, really bad. And Lisa used to eat lunch at school before they put in the hot lunch program. The group of parents and people ran a lunch program that had rice and meat the way they like it here, with soy sauce and oil and vegetables and stuff and different things. And then this, the U.S. hot lunch program was put in, and you can't have the other lunch program, and they're getting half canned peach with a slice of bread and old cheese, and I don't know. It's becoming quite a source of complaint. I don't know why they can't serve local food and use local people and let a local do something to encourage local groups to do this. Of course, all the federal regulations about stainless steel, this and that, all apply, and nobody here can meet all that. And I've been against the hot lunch program ever since it started, so I'm probably not a very good person to talk about it. I think they should have a morning snack program where they provide an apple, some juice, and something in the morning. But so Lisa doesn't eat lunch at school anymore. We need to meet the airport plane. I've got a fellow coming in and his wife from Washington, Office of HEW. They're in Guam, actually, right now. And I have to meet that plane. They'll be here for 2 days. And I've got a lot else going on. It'll be a little confusing. And somebody's coming with them from the public, from federal, from military schools. I don't quite understand why he's coming or what he's doing, but I guess I'll find out. So I need to meet their plane. I went down to make their hotel reservations, and that was absolutely ridiculous. I called, and they said they couldn't make reservations. And I said, that's silly, you're a hotel, this Continental Hotel. So then I went down there and left all the information and came back, and the girl still insisted they couldn't, that the man wasn't there. And I said, well, that I had gotten in touch with him twice, and I didn't care whether the man was there or not. They should be able to take a reservation. And I asked to see the manager, who I know, and got things straightened out. But the hotels are full, pretty much. They wanted 3 days. I was only able to get 2 days. So we'll see what happens with that. And they should have contacted me earlier. That's happening more and more, that the hotels are full anyway. Our flame trees are just about starting to bloom, and that's really pretty. All the leaves fall off these trees, and then these red flowers come out. And it's just all these red flowered flame trees, which is really pretty, and begins about now and goes for about 4 months, I guess. We have that. I've been doing a lot more writing with my work, and am doing a whole sort of different thing than I was when I first came. And I think it's a good experience for me. May 4th, I don't quite believe it's May 4th. It seems like an awful lot's been happening. We just finished up a Trust Territory-wide language conference. All the directors of education and language people were here, some of whom are old friends for me now. We've been together at conferences for a few years. And we worked on a revision of the Trust Territory language policy and community involvement, evaluation, curriculum development, that sort of thing. My friend Patsy Lane was here. Patsy's co-director of the Pacific Asian Materials Development Center in Hawaii, and really good friend. We enjoyed seeing each other. At the same time the conference was going on, Dr. Donald Topping was here. He's done a lot of research in Chamorro, and he is Dean of the Social Science and Linguistics Institute at the University of Hawaii. And I took him around, which was kind of interesting. We met with Peace Corps one afternoon. They had asked Dr. Topping to give them some advice, and met with the governor, and appeared in front of the HEW committee at the legislature, and talked about bilingual education and Northern Mariana's needs. Met with program people and federal program people, and I enjoyed his company and learned a lot, taking him these different places and doing this sort of thing. Yesterday appeared before it wasn't really a full committee thing, it was with I can't remember what it is, the legislature law and policies committee or something. And tonight I'm supposed to draft legislation for them to present tomorrow for a stand on bilingual education, the legislature to adopt a policy on bilingual education, and then some of them are going to Washington too. And they will try to influence the legislation that's being done now. It's kind of a whole new area for me. I feel a little bit over my head. It's kind of scary to be influencing the policies of a new Commonwealth, but kind of in the position I'm in, I'm the person that's being asked to do this, and am doing the best I can with it. I've been collecting legislation from different states, and have both the governor and the legislature are more supportive, actually, of bilingual education than I thought. In fact, the legislature offered to put a bill in for me for $50,000 for research in Carolinian and Chamorro. So we'll probably be working on that. So that's kind of one thing I've been doing, I guess. I have to do a budget revision for Washington. Seems like every day brings a lot of different things. We're met with evaluators from the West Coast today to discuss our evaluation design and working on a bunch of cultural stuff. So there's a lot that's been going on. And then, of course, with all my friends here, we had a lot of parties and get-togethers and dinners and this sort of thing. So that was fun. The last few conferences have been on Saipan. Since it's easier here, there's more hotel space. This conference was quite large. They couldn't have put us up or put everybody up anyplace else. And we each made a presentation about our programs. My Carolinian director was in Puerto Rico. I sent him to the conference there. I'd hoped that both my Carolinian and Chamorro project directors could go to the bilingual conference, but only one of them could go. So Jesus is due back Saturday, so it'd be nice to hear how he liked it and what happened. We received our training grant with San Jose State University in California, and the fellow was here for that. I'll be a co-director on that. I'll be going to San Jose at the beginning of May to do a orientation for their professors prior to their coming out. I'm still muddling around with the dates. I go to Guam. I go to Guam every second Friday now for an advisory meeting and to do other sorts of business. So I go to Guam next Friday. I have a friend getting married Saturday, so I'll stay over and go to his wedding. And I guess I'll take Lisa with me this trip if she wants to go, or she can stay with friends here if she wants to. Last time I went to Guam, she stayed with friends and she had such a good time. She didn't even come to meet me at the airport when I came back. So I'll let her choose whatever she wants to do. One thing nice is that Lisa knows all my people I work with, and she came to work with me today. It was Ascension Day, so she had no school, and we had a pretty busy day. Let's see, we had met a friend for breakfast, and then worked in the office, and then took Patsy to the airport. She was flying out. Went back to the Continental and had lunch with my staff, teacher aides, and directors and stuff, and then went back to the airport and saw other friends off. Went back to the office, and Lisa knows how to work the Xerox machine, and she can do some filing, and she helps make the materials, so she's pretty good at doing all those things. I had a PSAP meeting on culture with a lot of different Pacific islands, and I taped it, and then I taped some of the talks at the language meeting. We have taken a day off. I took a day off from work, and Lisa took a day off from school. And we've been cleaning the house and picking up and arranging, and I am right now filing my receipts and doing that kind of thing. We've had a very busy few weeks. We had a big language conference here. There were about 60 people here from the different districts, and I was very much involved in that. We were setting policies for the trust territory. And at the same time, a lot of these people are my old friends. Some that I've known, since they've been out here since 1967. And so there was a lot of parties and get-togethers. In addition, our friend Patsy, Dr. Patsy Lane from the University of Hawaii, was here, and Dr. Donald Topping from the University of Hawaii. And they were here for the conference, but also it was their time in the Northern Marianas. So I had to take time I took Dr. Topping's a pretty important man in terms of what we're doing out here, and he's chairman of the Linguistics and Social Science Department at the University of Hawaii, so I had to take him down to speak to the legislature and speak to the governor and this sort of thing, which was interesting. We talked with the head of Peace Corps for Micronesia and Northern Marianas, and a lot of places. Went around, spent the week going to this conference and going around
to these different people. The legislature has done a couple interesting things this week. I took Dr. Lane down to we met with the Government and Law Committee of the legislature, and they're going to draft a bill to be presented to the United States Congress on the Mariana's attitude towards bilingual legislation. But when I say they're going to draft it, it means I'm going to write it, or it's just about written now, and they're going to adapt it. The legislature offered $50,000 to have somebody do research full-time in Carolinian and full-time in Chamorro. So I felt pretty good about those things. It's kind of a new level for me, and it's kind of been a little overwhelming. Oh, I've hired one of our support agencies is going to come out and do a workshop for me, part of it on community involvement and the other part on designing legislation. It's kind of scary. We've got a brand new state, or Commonwealth, but state status in terms of federal regulations, and all the bills and all the things to be designed, and I get a little scared every now and again that I'm not doing things as I might. So they're going to bring samples of legislation from every place. They'll be here the last week in May and the beginning of June, and I'm in the process of setting that up. I've been asked about taking part in a doctorate program at the University of San Francisco, where I would go for 3 summers and then do field work during the year. And this would be from mid-June and then all of July. I've got somebody looking into the accreditation of the University of San Francisco and this, that, and the other. I can't think of any reason at this point not to do it. Even if I just go this one summer, it's an excellent summer program. The credits would carry over if I decided I wanted, to go to a different school to work on my doctorate. I don't think I'm in a position right now to quit work and go to school full-time, and probably won't be within the next 3 years. I don't see how it could hurt, and of course I like going to school and I like writing. At the same time, I've been made associate director of a project with San Jose State University in San Jose, California, and they're expecting me to come the beginning of June, or a little bit into June, and orientate their faculty and work with on the evaluation design and setting up this training program that we're going to have with San Jose State. It means we'll have training programs with the University of Hawaii, San Jose State, and Guam, and I'll be coordinating these, which is a little bit difficult. It's kind of complicated to go into on a tape. And there doesn't seem to be any time that's good for me to leave. I'm sending, now I guess it's 14 people that I'm sending to Guam to school this summer, and I'm sending 2 people to Hawaii. And of course I've got 4 people at the University of Hawaii for 1 year and 4 people at the University of Guam for 1 year. I have 2 consultants coming, one in mid-June, and I think I can get all that set up so somebody else would get them settled. I've finished the contract and the travel authorization and all those things. So things should be fairly well set for that. And then I have another one coming the beginning of August. And I've got somebody I think that can handle that for me. We've got an evaluation report, but that's going fairly well. So I think it would work out okay in terms of all those sorts of things. I go to Guam again, not tomorrow, I guess the day after tomorrow.
Yeah, Thursday.
Thursday I go for a meeting.
Mom, you better tell me more about on Thursday I'm going to go home on the bus. Okay.
Lisa had a choice this time. She could come with me, or she can go stay with somebody, and she wants to go stay with Jim and Mirla Moses again.
Because last time I stayed there and I had fun. You stayed Saturday?
Yeah. I have to go to a wedding on Guam Saturday.
Is that your business?
No, that's not my business. My business is Friday. Last weekend we worked in the office. I've redesigned my filing system. Basically with all the state kind of duties I'm doing, the people I'm corresponding with, and all that's really changing. So I just needed to work up a whole new system, and nobody could do it really except me, and I needed quiet. During the day, I get 20 to 30 phone calls and have all sorts of meetings going all the time. And just as glad I didn't try to go to the conference in Puerto Rico. I think it would have been tiring. It's kind of very tiring for me to go to big conferences now that I know people. And they're people that have been here on Saipan for different reasons, and when they were here, we've given them parties and taken them around and kind of that sort of thing. And then when I go to a conference, I'm kind of torn between spending time with different people that have been out here, and it just didn't feel up to all that in terms of going to Puerto Rico. But Jesus Lamato's back, and everything went well with him, I think, there. The 3 directors from Guam went to the conference in Puerto Rico, and I'm anxious to spend time talking with them when I go day after tomorrow. It's been hot, and starting to rain a little bit again. Our water still goes off about 8 o'clock, and at night it comes on about 7, and it works pretty well. I'm not moving along with my writing quite as much as I'd like to. I sent a letter to the editor in Guam, and it was printed, and I've done a couple of other things, but I've had to do so much writing with this.
I had quite a busy day. But yesterday we had 82 people come in from Guam, 30 children and their parents, to spend it was a class trip to see Saipan of 4th grade, and we're hosting them. I really didn't do anything. My staff handled it all, so I didn't do anything except official greeting and that sort of thing. And then we had the schools are having different kinds of things, and I had to speak at Miss Chamorita Day, or Mr. Day, and ended up having to give out awards with the Speaker of the Legislature, and then crown. There were, the Mayor of Saipan and the Lieutenant Governor and my Chamorro Director and Carolinian Director and myself. We had different roles, and crowning the princesses and such was interesting day. And then we had the usual feast, which was incredible. And then I had 3 get-togethers last night. It seems to be a heavy couple of weeks for get-togethers. Different types of things. I'm going to have to speak at 3 other days and be giving out prizes and that sort of thing. And I have a lot of things to do in terms of my office, so having to do these types of things really goes into that time. But I really enjoy it. I have a good time. And, I like doing it. I'm trying to get things all ready and done for being gone. I have to close all my financial books and have an incredible number of things to arrange. I don't know quite how I'm going to get it all done. But we'll somehow have a workshop to do the week after next. We'll be working on legislation for language policy for Northern Marianas, and meeting with I've got some people coming in to advise us on how to write legislation and such, and we'll be meeting with the Health Education Welfare Committee of the legislature and working on that. And then at the same time I'm having a math workshop and a community involvement workshop that other people are running, and I'm just sort of doing the setting up now. Rented the hotel room today, and all that sort of thing that goes into setting something like that up, and getting my administrative assistant set to do that. So it's been a really busy time. And Lisa and I are trying to pack, and I have quite a bit of work to do in Hawaii at the university there, so I'm hoping to have 3 days there. Then I'm going to fly to, need to meet with San Jose State at least for a day. I'm going to be associate director of a training project that we're going to have at San Jose State, and I need to plan with that. Then I'll go to San Francisco, of course it's right, sort of the same place, for a screening committee thing for this program I'm thinking of taking part in. I'm really trying to close up stuff here. It's, a lot easier to stay than leave. But I think this is a good thing to do right now, and that it'll work well. But it's a good time for this. There's so much going on, and there's so few people to do everything, and you get so involved in this place is so small that you're automatically involved in a lot of things. In a larger community, you wouldn't be. And having taken on all the state proportion things, it gets things that get more involved, and it's interesting. And I'm certainly learning a lot and enjoying it very much. But it has gotten quite complicated. I find the politicking part pretty complicated and such, but it's certainly a whole new set of skills that I sure wouldn't have from any job in the States at this point. I'm kind of pleased to be working on this training thing, and to be I'll be teaching some university courses next year. I'm planning one on multicultural education in the Pacific, and I'm planning to bring in people from other Pacific islands as resource people. And I'll either do that for San Jose or University of Hawaii or University of Guam. I think that I haven't quite decided, and I think I'll do a creative writing course. I've kind of shied away from doing basic courses. That's what we've needed right along, and now we're getting into some other needs. We're going to have 5 Carolinian writers and supervisors and 5 Chamorro writers and supervisors, in contrast to 1 or 2 that we've had right along, because we've always had people at training. So a lot of things should smooth out next year. I'll have my state office and proposal, and so I should have more time, hopefully, to do some of these other things. So I'm really looking forward to that, if it works out. And we have to go down to San Jose School. I have to speak at the activity they have there today, and yesterday we spent a lot of time at Garapan School.
Is that San Yoki?
No, San Jose. So I had to give out certificates and awards and stuff, and I have people coming in at 5 to do the workshop next week, and I'm trying to get everything all set. Well, Lisa and I now have to go clean out the car, because we're going to be meeting all these people, and then get set. You should see I should actually send this to you, the speakers for this thing we're going to. Jesus Alamato, my Carolinian director, arranged it, and I think he's got 25 speakers. I don't know how it's going to go. He's got guest speaker, Lieutenant Governor, Executive Affairs, Executive Assistant Carolinian Affairs, the Speaker for the House of Representatives, the Mayor, the Director for the Bilingual Bicultural Program in Guam, myself, the Chamorro Director, the President of the Carolinian Association, the Bilingual Association Community Advisory Council President, the Assistant Director of Education, 3, 4, 5 congressmen, and then the principal speaking. And then we go into the entertainment, which is grades 1, 6, and 7, and then Oleai School 1 and 7, Garapan 1, 6, and 7, Hopwood, and then stick dances, and then food. Monsignor Camacho does the benediction. So this should...
It's about 15 people.
I know. We'll see what happens. This is the first time the Carolinians have ever done anything like this, so it should be very, very interesting. And we may be there the rest of our lives, but it'll work out.
Initial draft of Audiobook 5 titled Working in the Northern Mariana Islands, Transition from Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands to Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands, Bilingual Bicultural Education and Higher Education by Dr. Kit Porter Van Meter. This historical 4-year narrative is created from 36 audio tapes sent by me, Kit Porter, to my family in Massachusetts and California between 1975 and 1979. In the accompanying transcripts, each chapter is identified with the date of the tape was made and the audio tape number in the KPV collection audio inventory. Not all the tapes survived the past 50 years. Some were taped over, and some were missing or unclear. Actual recordings are at different speeds because of electrical problems. Background music from the radio and records can make it difficult to hear the words. The focus of this narrative is on my first 4 years as a contract employee in the Northern Mariana Islands, as it ceased to be administered by the U.S. Trust Territory of the Pacific Islands and became a Commonwealth of the United States. My initial work focused on directing the Title VII Chamorro and Carolinian bilingual projects. As islanders were hired to fill these roles, I was assigned to coordinate and be the State Director of Bilingual Bicultural Education, to arrange training for teachers and government employees, and be the coordinator and State Director of Higher Education. A future narrative will focus on my work establishing Northern Marianas College between 1979 and 1983. We are making this rough draft public now because I'm 80 years old and will not have time to polish it. Maybe somebody else will. My work now is to add content from reports, documents, letters, additional audio, and memories to create a more comprehensive narrative. Michael Sousa has shepherded this work for more than a decade, arranging and digitizing audio tapes, creating transcripts, combining and editing select audio, researching and selecting systems, equipment, and digital sites, and preparing these audiobooks.